I just think maybe at the end of the day, the job don't got to get done. Like, what is the job and what needs to be done? I've had a whole reimagining of my social like the way that I view the world socially. I'm queer, black, femme, obviously. And so these things kind of count against me when I walk into a room of strangers. Now, those are one of the conversations that my mother had with me when I was very young age. Well, not the queer part, because homophobic in black households, but the black femme part where it's like, yeah, girl, keep your head on a swivel and these people fuck with you. And I'm like, yeah, appreciate the tip, mom. But now I'm like, I'm coming up to the plate to bat. Three strikes, I'm already out. I don't even get a chance to swing. What is a job that needs to get done? Because you know how when people are talking about like politics and they're talking about class politics versus what's the other one? It's class and race, I think. Like those are the separations. That can't be right. Class politics and race politics. I don't know. But they're like, it's not left versus right, it's up versus down when they say stuff like that. I'm coming around to it in a political conversation. I'm trying not to be like pessimistic, but all of my faves are talking about and reading about Afro pessimism, and I'm like, please, I need hope, because if it's not hope for niggas in this world, I'm gonna fucking kill myself in a very public way to make sure everybody knows that this shit's fucked up. However, I'm like, okay, the way my relational reimagination has occurred is like, because it's like men and women and the femicide and femininity and feminism, and the men are killing women at these alarming rates. Yes, and that really is what trips people up. It's the yes and part, because on one hand I'm like, yes, all those statistics are very true. Also, objectively, men are usually a little in the brain where they go me smash, and I'm like, yeah, like, you stay your big burly ass over there and keep me and my homegirl safe because we trying to party. However, comma, the same way, this is how it all clicks to me. The same way I get to Alabama in 2020, whatever the hell it was, and is white. No, pardon me. This was part of 2020 because I left in 2020. This is like before 2020, right? I'm in Alabama, and the white lady at the grocery store is like, these Mexicans sure are doing a lot in our town, right, girl? And I'm looking like, you think we're cool? And I'm like, and she didn't say this, but the vibe is like, yeah, Barack Obama became president. Racism has been solved. Why are y'all still chirping about it? Because we're birds. But the point about like how white people try to get in cahoots with like niggas about Mexicans and Arabs, this shit's fucking insane. Cause I'm looking around like, can you see me? But the American part is my same perspective about relationships, like the social dynamics and the gender dynamics. And I'm not really talking about race, because that is a tired conversation at at my big age of 52. I don't want to talk about race no more. We done talked about race to the ground. The answer is slavery. The solution is reparations for slavery. Slavery is why it's racism in 2026. It's just slavery, and we just have to pay the people for being slaves, and that's it. It's not a big complicated story. We don't actually have to dig into the grotesque history of what those people did specifically in British America, but if we want to, we can. The end of the day, the book is closed. Reparations for the people that was enslaved. However, the gender shit has really been at the forefront, because obviously everybody's attacking trans people, and so that attack on trans people is an attack on the entire construct of gender identity anyway. Because let people be and express and act the fuck how they want to act. Like, bitch, the president, who is the president for the second time, is a pedophile. The first time we knew wide open he was a rapist. The second time we learned, well, that rape also includes children. Maybe let people dress up in skirts. You know, if Caitlyn Jenner want to bust up her face with all them needles, let her do it. She just want to look like one of the girls. She's literally surrounded by the baddest bitches on the planet, the way y'all talk about it. Of course she want to be part of the gang. She a OG. It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. My point is, the attack on trans identity is like attacking the entire construct of gender, which I'm not upset about. However, I'm getting really alarmed by the amount of girls who are like, I don't want to have a boy because I don't want to birth my enemy. And I just keep saying, baby, huh? That's the sentiment. Like, the misandry is cute. Fuck men. We don't like boys. Ew. Girls rule. Boys drool. I'm team girl. Like, I'm part of the club. I'm part of the sisterhood. I'm in formation. However, we got to do and say things that make sense. And the thing about children is that every human was a child, and every child has two parents. Because you got to mix two different opposing things to make a baby. You get an egg and you get a sperm, and then they put the sperm inside of the lady who got the eggs, which ain't even gotta be lady, it could be he. You put the sperm inside the incubator with the eggs, and in the egg incubator, which is also a birthing person or a mom, fucking get over yourselves, you know, the biological process of regeneration occurs. Moms don't actually have to do much, don't actually have to be that involved. A pregnancy can occur without a lot of female intervention, right? You just do the sex part and then the baby happens. You ain't got to do a lot for the baby to be born happy and healthy. Now, obviously, you need to pay attention a little bit because it matters, because it's inside of your body, but we're talking basics here. Every single person got a mama and a daddy. Now, sometimes mamas die, sometimes daddies die. The big issue with society is that y'all keep making kids be parents, and that's fucking crazy. But like, everybody got like a mom and a daddy, like a female and a male, a boy and a girl, an X and a Y, a sperm and an egg. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not this big, super huge scientific discovery. I did not go to college. I have a high school education, but the thing about my high school education is I didn't like learn anything. I just passed the test good so I could get a diploma so I could leave high school. And then I didn't go to college because it was like, when you go to college you can make more money, and I'm like, I can make more money on the street. And so that's what I went and did. I made some money on the street, and then COVID happened, and then I quit my job at the CIA. Anyways, all that to say, my reframing of everything is like, it's not left versus right? It's not man versus woman. It's not cis versus trans. It's not male versus female. When we're talking about how we care for a society, you bitches need to take the goddamn fuck care of your kids. All of you. You deadbeat mothers and you deadbeat fathers. Unless they died. Sorry. Sometimes people die. But like, for the most part, ain't nobody died. Y'all just are bullshitters. Nobody has sex education. People think pregnancy just happens. I know I just described the process of how pregnancy just happens, but like, that's an elementary understanding of pregnancy and parenting. Like, you need to up your sex education level if you are, I don't know, it's like you just the problem is the parents, and I have no other concept, no other framework. It's Mayday. I am an individual. I ain't got no kids, and so my life belongs to me. I could do what I want. I could wake up. Baby, I took a shower today, and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I haven't taken a shower all week. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't taken a shower all week because I had been forced to do domestic labor, and that ain't my vibe. That ain't me. Like, I'm a princess. There is a world on this side of heaven where I am a princess. I got the paperwork. I don't have a crown because that's dumb. But you got the paperwork. You got the title. You got the staff. I don't know how else to describe it. I be off my kilter because I'm trying to tap into the matrix. Like, I keep looking into this lens being like, I know y'all are out there and I know y'all can hear me. It's really keys to this liberation shit. It's really codes to this liberation shit. But you got to go outside to do it. And so that's where this turns into this weird cycle of me confused at what my purpose in life is, because you quit your job at the CIA, you don't make the kind of money you were making, but also you had to get rid of all your friends because your whole life was a cop life. And so your job was a cop job, your friends were cop jobs. Cops are predators. And so your whole world is functioned around service to predators, and you have to make some changes. And I didn't even realize that my life was in service to predators until I moved across the country. And then I'm like, oh, I moved across the country. I did a really powerful and brave thing. I sold all my shit. I moved across the country. I didn't know anybody, to a city I didn't know any. I literally just went from scratch with nothing and built a life. Had a beautiful home, made some cool friends, made some cool art, saw some cool stuff, just had a good time. Then the reality set in, which is like the formation of my life. And that's why Zionism is so hard to unlearn. But that's why white supremacy is so hard to unlearn. That's why if you got a lot of shit talk for Israel, and you don't got that same shit talk for America, you probably are anti-Semitic. I grew up around Jewish people that I thought was white. Like the white people I grew up with, they was Jewish. And so it was always they were Jewish and they understand our plight as blacks because the Holocaust was crazy like the slavery. But if I had the context that the Holocaust happened, like the Holocaust in the state of Israel is like younger than my grandmother, who's alive and still drives, I'd have given less of a shit. No shade, because my whole fundamental human orientation is toward liberation. And so obviously I'm not celebrating people being harmed in such atrocious ways. But the way them little Jewish kids was talking to us about slavery as if they people went through the same thing. No. No. And I know that I'm not incorrect by that because I'm very clear about what the Zionist ideology is. And so it's just funny to say most of people's perspectives are deeply anti-Semitic, and they're they're anti-fascist. Like most people's, they are anti-Semitic and anti-fascist in a way where you come out sounding like Donald Trump. I don't know, like it's no world where I'm gonna ever celebrate the Holocaust, but in 2026, I don't want to hear shit from Jewish people about the sadness and the trauma of the Holocaust. I don't care, bitch. You wasn't fucking there. And now in the real world today, it's real shit that you could be focusing on, but you want to do your white tears because until I got to the South, I thought the Jewish people was white, and then I got to the South, and it was like the Jews, the Jews and the Arabs, all that Middle Eastern shit. Ain't that's so crazy? Like the Middle East isn't even a real place. It's like all this stuff is made up and we just make it up for maps. Can you imagine if I didn't hit record? That sometimes I just get that feeling and I get that urge and my phone died. All right. So here's the thing. If I didn't record, fuck it. I'm gonna have to redo this. But if I did, happy Mayday. Mayday, Mayday. Every day except for Wednesday.